Hi, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the novel that we are starting this week. First off, I'd like you to know that I found a PDF online file so that you don't have to get behind on your reading assignment for the week. Next week, we're going to begin having a weekly discussion board where hopefully you're going to be able to reflect on something that you have read in the week prior. Okay, so it's about 30 pages every week. And I do recommend, though, that you have the book unless you want to just take notes on a separate piece of paper, because if you don't take any notes or if you don't put any sticky notes in the book, it's just too easy to forget what you've read or what you were thinking as you read it. Here I'm teaching you a strategy called talking to the text. And really what that means is that when you are reading, please click on this and watch the video, okay? But it's not just used for cartoons. It can be used for any part of the text. And the whole idea is that when we read, we really want to capture what is going through our minds. What are we confused about? What is moving to us? What is funny? What is shocking? Okay, so if we are able to record our thoughts and our reactions to what we're reading, we will have plenty to say about it in the next every week in the discussion board. Okay, but so if you don't do that, you're just gonna forget what you read. It's just the way reading works, all right? And so for your college classes, it's a different kind of reading. That it's not that you have to do this for everything, but it's because you're thinking more deeply about what you're reading and often writing about it. Okay, so here I have a little link to about the author Sherman Alexie Jr. And I'd like you to look at it. There's a link to his biography, and the reason why that would be important is because this novel is semi or partly autobiographical, meaning he based it on his own experience as a young Native American student who was going to a reservation school with all Native Americans, and he just decided that he wanted something better for his life, so he ends up being the only student who is Native American in an all-white school. And you'll see a lot of it is about how he adjusts to this choice that he made in his life and the impact on his life. Now, you may be wondering why I chose this book, and I have several reasons. Number one, it's a great book. It's the themes are really rich. I think there's everybody can relate to something in here, and it's not so difficult to read, and yet there's a lot of rich vocabulary in a natural setting, so you can still learn, how words are used. I also chose this book because Sherman Alexie is a Seattle writer. He lives in Seattle. He's local. And then the third reason I chose this book is because I think it's very important for anybody who is studying in this country or has immigrated to this country to really understand something more about the history of the Native American population here. I'm going to put a video in next week's module where it's called The Indian Problem, and it gives you a lot of that history about how it is that Native American populations ended up on these isolated lands that they call reservations, and how they ended up being so disadvantaged. Okay? In my video recording or meeting with a few people earlier in the week, I made a connection to the current protests that are happening on the streets of basically the whole world right now about Black Lives Matter. People have realized that too, that often, well, at least in America, because we have a history of enslavement of Black Americans or Black individuals, that there's sort of a dark legacy or dark history that is carried forward in this country. And finally, people are just saying we have to understand this history, we have to change the inequality. And so there's a link between the Black Lives Matter movement, or what is people's new or growing understanding of that particular history, and also the history of Native Americans. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here, but please email me if you have questions, okay? As always, I'd like to encourage that. All right, thanks. I hope that's enough background on the novel. I guess I should say one thing, because he's writing from the perspective of a 14-year-old boy. You'll find some humor in there that's kind of 14-year-old boyish. It's a little bit crude. They use some swear words. But I do believe that all of you are mature enough and broad-minded enough, because you're here at a college, that this isn't going to be so deeply offensive to you. Of course, if it is, I'd like you to let me know, okay? There are some very difficult themes that are in this book, and so feel free, if this is too difficult for you to look at any of the things that are happening in the book, you can communicate with me about that too. All right. Anyway, let's just see how it goes, and I'll talk to you soon.